I got married, yet sometimes feel like a ghost in my own life story. The man I vowed to love has become a stranger I barely know. Our vows were whispered lies we told ourselves to keep pretending. Marriage is learning to survive the silence that grows between two hearts. I married the memory of you, not the man who stands beside me. I still carry the weight of promises broken before the first dawn. We danced beneath fading stars, knowing the night would soon swallow us. I got married, but my soul learned how to mourn in daylight. Love's echo remains, even when the heart has gone silent. Our wedding day was a beautiful lie no one dared to question. I married a silence that screamed louder than any spoken word. The man I married is a ghost wandering through our broken dreams. I gave you forever. You gave me only the shadow of a moment. Marriage became a quiet battlefield where love slowly lost its voice. I got married, but sometimes wonder if I ever truly met you. Our love was a fragile flame, extinguished by cold indifference. The ring binds hands, but cannot hold a fading heart. I married a man whose eyes no longer see the woman I am. We whispered forever, but the silence between us spoke louder. I still search for the love I thought we shared on that day. Marriage taught me how to love someone who stopped loving me back. I got married and learned the art of smiling through quiet heartbreak. Our vows were cracks in a fragile mask we wore for the world. I married a ghost who haunts the edges of my broken dreams. The silence after I do was louder than any fight we ever had. I gave you my soul. You left me with only empty echoes. Marriage became a story of two hearts slowly breaking apart in silence. I got married, but my heart still wanders in lost memories. The man beside me is a stranger wrapped in familiar skin. Our love was a story unfinished, pages torn away by time and regret. Wear the ring, but my heart wears scars no one sees. Marriage is learning to love a shadow that once was light. I got married, but sometimes feel like a visitor in my own life. The vows we made were fragile threads unraveling in the dark. I married a man whose love faded before our story truly began. We held hands, afraid to feel the growing distance between us. I gave you my all, but you returned only silence and regret. Marriage became a cage where love slowly forgot its own name. I got married and learned how to love someone I barely knew. Our wedding day was the last time I believed in forever. I married a silence so loud, it shattered every word we spoke. The man I vowed to love is now a stranger passing by. I still hear your name in the spaces where our laughter died. Marriage taught me the weight of loving someone who no longer loves back. I got married and learned to survive the quiet after I do. His eyes once held stars, now only empty. Skies remain. We danced through love's ruins, pretending the wounds didn't bleed. I married a ghost who haunts the edges of my every thought. Our love story ended in silence, written between broken promises. I gave you my soul, but you traded it for empty words. Marriage became a cage where love slowly forgot its own name. I got married, but my heart still wanders the path we lost. The man beside me is a stranger I still try to remember. Our vows were whispers swallowed by the deafening silence of us. I married a man who stopped holding me long before letting go. The ring shines, but the love it promised faded into shadows. I got married and learned that love sometimes means walking away quietly. Our forever ended before it truly began, in the silence between us. I still hear your voice in the empty rooms of my mind. Marriage became a story of two hearts slowly breaking apart. I married a shadow and learned to love the darkness it left behind. We said I do, but lived separate lives under one roof. I got married to a dream that slowly slipped through my fingers. The vows we made became the silence we couldn't break. I married a man whose heart was already far away when we met. Our love was a garden, now only weeds grow in its place. I still wear the ring, but my soul is lost in the void. Marriage taught me how to love someone who stopped loving me first. I got married and learned how to survive in a house full of ghosts. The man I married is a stranger I can no longer recognize. Our vows echoed in a room emptied by fading love. I married a silence that swallowed all the words we never said. I gave you my heart, but you left it to shatter alone. Marriage became a story of love lost beneath unspoken words. I got married, but sometimes feel like I never truly said yes. His eyes no longer see me, only reflections of who I was. We built a life from broken promises no one dared to fix. Married a ghost who haunts every quiet moment I have. Our wedding date was the last time I believed in forever. I married a memory, haunted by what we lost in silence. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I got married, but learned love's silence can scream louder than words. The man beside me is a stranger wrapped in familiar skin. Marriage taught me how to smile when every part inside is breaking. Our vows were cracks in a wall destined to crumble unseen. I married a ghost who still lingers in my quietest moments. We promised forever, but the forever was lost before the dawn. I got married and felt my heart shrink inside a crowded room. His eyes no longer search for me. I'm just a shadow in his world. Marriage is the art of loving someone who has already left. We built a life from words we never meant to say out loud. I wore a ring, but my soul was already chained to silence. I married the man who loved me less each day without a word. The space between us grew with every smile we forced to hide. Pain. I got married and lost the person I used to be. Without realizing, we danced in a room filled with ghosts of what could have been. His touch is distant now, like a memory I can barely hold. Marriage is a puzzle missing the pieces only silence knows. I married a story unfinished, chapters torn away by time and regret. I got married to a man whose love became a whisper in the dark. Our wedding day was the last time I believed in forever. I still hear your name in the spaces where our laughter died. Marriage became a language of absence, spoken fluently by two strangers. I gave my all, but his heart was never truly mine to keep. We said, I do, but our souls already whispered goodbye. I married a man whose silence screamed louder than any fight. The vows we made are buried beneath the weight of what we lost. I got married and found love can sometimes be the heaviest chain. Our home is full of echoes from promises that never came true. White, but inside I was bleeding colors no one saw. Marriage taught me to love someone who only loves himself. I got married and learned how to drown alone in crowded rooms. Our love story is inked with moments we both wish to forget. The man I married is a ghost I can't stop chasing. I gave you forever, but you gave me only fleeting moments. Marriage became a silent battlefield where we fought without weapons. I got married to a man who stopped seeing me in time. Our vows were fragile threads unraveling before the first sunrise. I still reach for you, but your hand is always just out of reach. I married a stranger disguised as the man I once knew. Love left the room long before the final dance began. I got married, but my heart never found its place beside yours. The silence between us grew into a chasm too wide to cross. We held hands tightly, afraid to feel the distance growing inside. I married the absence of your love, disguised in familiar. Smiles. The ring glimmers, but inside, the light has long since faded. I got married, yet sometimes feel like a guest in my own life. His eyes no longer see me. Marriage became a story of two people who stopped speaking in truth. I gave you my heart, but you buried it beneath forgotten promises. Our forever crumbled beneath the weight of all we never said. I married a silence so loud, it shattered every word we spoke. I got married, but my soul dances alone in empty rooms. The man I vowed to love now feels like a stranger passing by. We whispered love, but the truth was always a quiet goodbye. I married a man who learned to love shadows more than me. Our wedding day was a beginning no one knew was an ending. I got married and learned how to love someone I barely know. The silence after vows echoed louder than any promise ever could. Marriage is learning to live with the absence of your own name. I married A. Ghost, hoping love would bring him back alive. Our love faded slowly, like ink bleeding from a forgotten letter. I gave you my all, you gave me only echoes of yesterday. Marriage became a song of silence sung between two broken hearts. I got married, but sometimes feel like I'm losing myself in the crowd. His touch is distant, a memory slipping through my fingers. I married a man whose heart was already far away before we met. Our vows were words lost in a storm no one saw coming. I still search for the man I married, hidden beneath layers of silence. Marriage taught me how to love someone who forgot how to love me. I got married and learned how to smile through silent goodbyes. The promises we made faded like stars swallowed by the dawn. Our love was a fragile flame extinguished by cold, quiet neglect. I gave you my heart, but you left it behind like a forgotten gift. Marriage became a story of two souls drifting silently apart. I got married, but my heart is still learning to let go. My dear, I got married to a ghost haunting my own silent nights. I got married, but sometimes feel like a stranger visiting my own life. The vows echoed hollow, swallowed by the quiet that grew between us. I got married to promises whispered by someone I no longer recognize. We built a home of paper walls, fragile, transparent, easily torn. His smile hides storms I learned to fear in silence. I wore my wedding dress, but my heart was draped in shadows. In marriage, I discovered how loneliness can wear two rings. We said forever, while our souls quietly rehearsed goodbye. I got married and lost myself between the lines of silent apologies. Love was the language we never learned to speak. Only sigh. Every kiss tasted like a goodbye I didn't want to say. Our wedding day was a quiet beginning to endless unspoken wars. Married to a man whose eyes stopped seeing me. We danced in silence, our shadows whispering secrets we ignored. I gave my heart, he returned only echoes and broken promises. Marriage became a cage where love slowly forgot how to fly. The rain shone bright, but the night around us grew darker still. I got married and found my soul drowning in a sea of silence. We swore loud, but built walls thicker than any vow could break. I am still learning how to mourn a love alive but absent. His touch grew colder. I pretended not to feel the frostbite. Marriage is not always a home. Sometimes it's a battlefield. I got married, but my heart quietly grieved the stranger beside me. Our silence screamed louder than any argument ever could. I remember the day I lost you behind the altar's gleam. The promises felt like chains, tightening with every whispered excuse. I married the idea of love, not the man who stood there. In your arms I learned how to feel, invisible while standing close. I got married, but the youth slipped away like sand through fingers. Our love story is written in tears no one ever saw. I kissed a stranger on our wedding night, not the man I loved. Marriage made me a ghost haunting the house I once called home. We shared a bed, but never the truths burning inside us. I got married and learned how to smile while silently breaking. The rings bind hands, but sometimes souls remain hopelessly free. I married a silence so loud, it drowned all my words. Our love was a book, but someone tore out the pages slowly. I got married to a memory that refused to fade, no matter how hard I tried. The wedding day was our last moment of pretend happiness. I gave everything and received an echo that never came back. Marriage became a masquerade, hiding pain beneath the sweetest lies. I still trace your name in the dust of empty rooms. We whispered forever, but the silence spoke louder than our vows. I got married, but my heart is still wandering those empty aisles. His absence is the loudest guest at every celebration since. The promises shattered quietly, like glass under footsteps no one noticed. I married a shadow, loving the light that once flickered inside him. Our wedding photos hold smiles, but my soul remembers the tears. I got married to a story I wish had a different ending. The vows were words, but love requires more than speech. I married a silence that swallowed all the words we never said. Every ring holds a story. Some whispered, some screamed inside. I got married, but my soul grieves a love that no longer breathes. In your eyes, I saw the distance growing while I stayed rooted. The altar was a stage for a play, Neither of us wanted to perform. I married a stranger with my own name on his lips. The wedding was a beginning, a slow unraveling I didn't see coming. I held your hand, but your heart was already miles away. Married and learned that love sometimes means letting go quietly. The silence after I do was louder than any storm before. We danced through a lie dressed as love, pretending it was true. I married a man whose love had already slipped through his fingers. Our forever began and ended in the same breath of emptiness. I still carry the weight of vows whispered in shadows. Marriage became a mirror reflecting all the cracks I hid from you. I got married and lost the person I promised to cherish most. The wedding bells were echoes of a love slowly fading to silence. We promised forever, but lived separate lifetimes under one roof. I married a silence that built walls higher than love could climb. The man I married is a stranger I still try to understand. Our love was a garden. Now only weeds remain where flowers died. I got married, but sometimes wonder if I ever truly said yes. We held hands through storms, but never before the quiet breaks. Marriage taught me how to love someone who stopped loving me. The vows bind fingers but cannot hold hearts torn apart.